On Tuesday, we were talking about the significance of the moment and the vibes. And a little bit more than 24 hours later, Keith, how would you describe the significance of this loss?
Crushing. This is one of those losses that if you don't find a way to win some more games in the next, couple of days, you may look at the day and go, that was the day that our season ended. Now, here's the deal. I don't want to be hyperbolic and I don't want to be overreactionary to this, but that's kind of what we do, right? We do overreact a bit. David Peterson, for better or worse, has been a really good pitcher this season. But if you're going to routinely walk 2 guys, 3 guys, 5 guys, you're going to run into issues. This Mets team, it's flawed. Luckily, some of the other teams in the NL are as well. But tonight, it was a bad one.
Listen, I don't know if it can necessarily top the game Sunday against the Milwaukee Brewers, but it's definitely a candidate for one of the worst losses of the year. It's in the top 3, no question. You got a 5-6-0 lead. The Braves stink. This is not the vintage Atlanta Braves that you're used to playing. They have no pitching. Their bullpen stinks. They're trotting Cookie Carrasco out of AAA, and he gets absolutely bombed. And yet, at your point, Keith, David Peterson can't throw strikes. It continues to be a common theme that Mets starting pitchers cannot go deep into ball games. And then sure enough, the bottom falls out when Michael Harris goes and hits the grand slam. So, yeah, you had all of this positivity. You had all of these good feelings after smoking the Braves. Alonso has the home run record. Everything's right in Metland for 24 hours. Terrible, terrible loss.
JJ, I'm going with the worst loss of the year. I think it's much worse than Sunday, but for other fact, just for the fact that it's at home and you had Peterson, and it's only fitting that it's to the Braves. All right, you mentioned the grand slam. Let's take that off the table. JJ, what was the low point of this game?
Oh, that's a tough question because I can't give you the 10 zillion walks that David Peterson and the rest of the Met pitching staff.
10 zillion low points of the game.
Yeah, so we can't do that. I'm going to look at the Juan Soto at bat. I know some people are going to get on me for this. They're going to say, JJ, hold on a second. He hit a monstrous home run. He gave the Mets a 5-0 lead. When is Juan Soto going to get one of these big hits? He comes up in a situation with a couple of runners on base, and he's swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. This is not Juan Soto. I understand the numbers on the surface look A-okay. The power numbers are fine. The OPS is fine. But Juan Soto is supposed to be the man in those spots. And I'm sorry, that to me is where I expect my dude, I expect my $750 million player to go and hit one to Central Park. Sorry, that's the expectation I have. And we're grading on what was the lowest point of the game. Keith, I'm wrong with that.
Eamon, you say lowest point. There were so many low points. That's the problem with your question.
No,
right?
no, that's the point of the question.
Yeah, I don't think I can find a singular point that I can pinpoint and say was the worst of the night. The Alonso situation wasn't great. Peterson pitching was bad tonight, 5 walks, and it's something that he has routinely done. Some of the, you just continue to go, and you're like, all right, that was bad, that was bad, that was bad. I can't give you one.
I got to go with Alonso getting thrown out at home. How does that happen on a full count pitch with 2 outs? You questioning the send. He should have been standing on home plate.
We love Pete, but he's got the piano on the back.
It's a full count. Get going. All right, before the game, the Mets announced that it would be Nolan McLean getting the call up to take Frankie Montas' spot in the rotation. He'll make his debut Saturday, and that outing now is carrying even more importance after Wednesday's debacle. So, JJ, what should realistic expectations be for the righty against Seattle?
Look, it's a tough spot coming out of AAA and asking anybody out of AAA to go and be the savior for your starting rotation. How about 5 innings of 2-run baseball? In all seriousness, and limit the walks and actually give this Met bullpen a chance to go and compete. But there's been a lot of chatter about McLean and Sproat and who is the choice going to be. We're kind of at a point, Eamon. I think both of these guys are going to have a role on the team because Montas is ticketed for the bullpen, and Clay Holmes, with the way he is faded, he's probably going to find himself as well in the bullpen. So how about 5 innings, 2 runs, Keith? Yeah. I'm keeping it limited.
I like that number there. I like that you mentioned the walks again. I don't know if you're sensing the theme that's bothering me is all the walks from the Mets pitchers. And I think you're spot on. I think you're going to end up getting Sproat at some point soon. McLean needs to be really good this weekend. Not all world, good enough that now all Mets fans and the Mets brass can sit there and go, okay, we got a dude.